तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuigrunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and today we have to start in the chapter 38 with the devotees in Calcutta, March 11, 1885. Bengali page 767. On the morning of Wednesday, March 11, Sri Ramakrishna and some of his disciples visited Balram Bose's house. Balram was indeed blessed among the householder disciples of Master. Sri Ramakrishna often described him as a rasaddar or supplier of stores appointed by the Divine Mother to take care of his physical needs. Balram's house in Calcutta had been sanctified many times by the Master's presence. There he frequently lost himself in samadhi, dancing, singing, or talking about God. Those of the Master's disciples and devotees who could not go to Dakshineshwar visited him there and received his instruction. He often asked Balaram to invite young disciples such as Rakhal, Bhavanath, and Narendra to his house, saying, "These pure souls are the veritable manifestations of God. To feed them is to feed God Himself. They are born with special divine attributes. By serving them, you will be serving God." That is a beautiful instruction to Balram, and Balram followed it fully. Even Balram's son followed it fully. And so it happened that whenever the Master was at Balram's house, the devotees would gather there. It was the Master's chief vineyard in Calcutta. It was here that the devotees came to know each other intimately. That also has happened here. M taught in a school in the neighborhood. He often brought his young students to visit the Master at Balram's house. On this day, having learnt of Sri Ramakrishna's arrival, M went there at noon during the recess hour of the school. He found the Master resting in the drawing room after his midday meal. Several young boys were in that room. M prostrated himself before the Master and sat by his side. Master tenderly, "How could you come now? Have you no school work?" M, "I have come directly from school. Just now I have no important work to do. A devotee. No, sir. He is playing truant today. You understand? Truant means he has run away from school. He has absconded from school. Like that he remarked. M said to himself, alas, it is indeed as if some invisible power had drawn me here. The master, looking a little thoughtful, asked them to come nearer. He said, please wring out my wet towel and put my coat in the sun. Season is March. Then he continued, my legs and feet ache. Please rub them gently. So he wants him to serve him and be blessed by that service. M felt very happy to be given the privilege of rendering these services to the master. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, can you tell me why I have been feeling like this the past few days? It is impossible for me to touch any metal. When I touched a metal cup, I felt as if I had been stung by a horned fish. There was an excruciating pain all over my arm. But I must use a brass water jar, so I tried to carry it after covering it with my towel. But the moment I touched the jar, did it touch? न ताई हाथ दिएची. No, he has covered it with a towel, and that covered thing he must be touching, no? But the moment I touched, I would have translated the moment I touched it, because he has covered it, and he wants to tell that even through the towel the same thing has happened, isn't it? We feel like that now. I felt the same acute pain in my arm. It was an unbearable pain. At last I prayed to the Divine Mother, oh Mother, I shall never do it again. Please forgive me this time. The younger Naren often visits me. Do you think his people at home will object? He is very pure and doesn't know what carnal pleasure is. M. He is a large receptacle. Master, that is true. Further, he says he remembers spiritual things after hearing them only once. He told me, I used to weep in my boyhood because I couldn't see God. He is still a boy. So we may say in still younger days. The master and him were just talking about the young devotee when someone reminded him of his school. Master, what is the time now? A devotee. It is 10 minutes to 1. Master to him, you had better go now. It is getting late for you. You have left your duties. To Latu. Where is Rakhal? Perhaps he wants somebody to serve him. Latu. He has gone home. Master, what? Has he gone away without seeing me? So, then Master has gone to the school. So, after the school over, he has come back. After school hours, M returned to Balram's house and found the master sitting in the drawing room. Sir, that time he was resting in the drawing room after food. Now he is sitting in the drawing room, surrounded by his devotees and disciples. Among them were Girish, Suresh. Surendra is also called Suresh. Balaram, Latu, and Chunilal. The master's face was beaming with a sweet smile, which was reflected in the happy faces of those in the room. Beautiful description, isn't it? He was beaming with a smile, and in the devotees were happy because of that. So Master says that was reflected in their happy faces. He wants to say perhaps that they are pure, so that is reflected. M was asked to take a seat by the master's side. Thakur asked Master Mashai to sit near him. That would have been better, direct. M was asked to take a seat by the master. Or putting master in the subject, master asked M to take a seat by his side. Master to Girish. We had better argue this point with Narendra and see what he has to say. Because Narendra is good in rationality and Girish has experience. So, rationally, whether it comes or not, or whether Narendra changes due to Girish or not. So, Master is again and again asking that. Girish, Narendra says that God is infinite. We cannot even so much as say that the things or persons we perceive are parts of God. How can infinity have parts? It cannot. So it is an important lesson to all of us. Many of us say that God is infinite, and then we say the world is a part of Him, we are part of Him. Infinity cannot have parts. They are appearances at the most, but not parts. Master, however great and infinite God may be, His essence can and does manifest itself through man by His mere will. So God is infinite, but by His will also is omnipotent. So by His mere will, He can manifest in a man. That is His power. तार भीतर सार वस्तु तार भितर चार वस्तू means consciousness, one without a second. God's incarnation as a man cannot be explained by analogy. There is nothing similar to that outside. One must feel it for oneself and realize it by direct perception. An analogy can give us only a little glimpse. By touching the horns, legs, or tail of a cow, we in fact touch the cow herself. But for us, the essential thing about a cow is her milk, which comes through the udder. So that is the position of the incarnation. That is the analogy. That the whole world is God's manifestation, like the other parts of the cow's body. But the udder is from where milk comes. So he is fully manifested through the incarnation. That when incarnation is like the udder, God incarnates himself as man from time to time in order to teach people devotion and divine love. Devotion and divine love. In Bengali, there is only one word, prema bhakti. Can you translate it as love of devotion? Devotion and divine love. Girish. Narendra says, is it ever possible to know all of God? He is infinite. Master to Girish. Who can comprehend everything about God? It is not given to man to know any aspect of God, great or small. So that is not necessary. And what need is there to know everything about God? It is enough if we only realize Him. That's all. And we see God Himself if we but see His incarnation. So this is the equation. We need not know everything about God. We want to realize Him, and it is enough if we see Him through the incarnation. Suppose a person goes to the Ganges and touches its water, he will then say, yes, I have seen and touched the Ganges. To say this, it is not necessary for him to touch the whole length of the river from Haridwar to Gangasagar. Laughter. So, he has already told analogy cannot be used for God. But as much as possible, analogies only will tell us. If I touch your face, feet, surely that is same as touching you. Again laughter. If a person goes to the ocean and touches but a little of the water, he has surely touched the ocean itself. Fire as an element exists in all things, but in wood it is present to a greater degree. This is another analogy for incarnation or realized people. Girish smiling. I am looking for fire. Naturally, I want to go to a place where I can get it. He has extended that analogy. Master smiling. Yes, fire as an element is present more in wood than in any other object. If you seek God, then seek Him in man. He manifests Himself more in man than in any other thing. If you see a man endowed with ecstatic love, overflowing with prema, mad after God, intoxicated with his love, then know for certain that God has incarnated himself through that man. So direct signs of an incarnation have been described to him. There is no doubt that God exists in all being, all things, but the manifestation of his power are different in different beings. The greater manifestation of his power is through an incarnation. Again, in some incarnations, there is a complete manifestation of God's power. So, within incarnations also, there is difference of manifestation of power. It is the Shakti, the power of God that is born as an incarnation, a special form. Girish. Narendra says, so Narendra had talks with Girish, and Girish is reproducing Narendra's arguments, and Thakur is giving replies to those arguments. Narendra says that God is beyond our words and thought. Master, that is not altogether true. He is no doubt unknowable by this ordinary mind, but he can indeed be known by the pure mind. So it is the mind which divides God into a subject and object. But if the mind is pure, that means able to reflect God as he is, then it will not divide. The mind and intellect become pure the moment they are free from attachment to woman and gold. So that is the main thing. The no desire, the pure mind and pure intellect are one and the same. Intellect is the deciding faculty in the mind. So if the mind is pure, that means no subject-object formation. Then the intellect decides, yes, it is like that. So pure, it is also pure. God is known by the pure mind. Didn't the sages and seers of olden times see God? They realize the all-pervading consciousness by means of their inner consciousness. Their awareness became filled with God. So that is the realization. No question of part and whole and all that. So beyond words and thought also is not fully true. For the man of realization, he will speak, he will think, but that will be filled with God. Girish with a smile. I defeated Narendra in the argument. So hearing all replies from Thakur, Girish says I defeated Narendra in argument. Master, oh no, he said to me. So Thakur has already got report from Narendra's side. He said to me, when Girish Ghosh has so much faith in God's incarnations as man, what can I say to him? It is not proper to meddle with such faith. Such faith, sincere, 100% more than 10% faith, one cannot interfere with such faith. It's not good to interfere with this faith. Because faith is the road, is man's road. Girish with a smile. Sir, we are very free and easy with our words. But M is sitting there with his lips shut tight. What in the world is passing through his mind? What do you say about it, sir? Master with a laugh. There is a common adage that tells people to beware of the following. A man with a loose tongue, a man whose mind cannot be fathomed even by an expert diver, a man who sticks the sacred tulsi leaf in his ears as a sign of holiness, a woman wearing a long veil to proclaim her chastity, and the cold water of a reservoir covered with green scum, by bathing in which one gets typhoid fever. These are all dangerous things. Understood? With a smile. But it is different with him. He is a serious man on love. Love because Thakur has described peculiar thing, but he says it is not about him. I am telling in general. Chunilal. People have begun to whisper about M's conduct. The younger Naren and Baburam are his students, as are Narayan, Paltu, Purna, and Tejchandra. The rumor is that he brings these boys to you, and so they neglect their studies. The boys' guardians hold him responsible. Master. But who would believe their words? That is not true, he said. Because their spiritual inclination, that is different. They were thus talking when Naren entered when they were thus talking, Naren entered the room and bowed low before the master. He was a student, 17 or 18 years. Oh, not Narendra, sorry. Narayan. They were thus talking when Narayan entered the room and bowed down before the master. He was a student, 17 or 18 years old, and of fair complexion. He was dearly loved by the master, who was very eager to see the boy and feed him. Many a time at the temple garden at Dakshineshwar, the master wept silently for Narayan. He looked on him as the manifestation of Narayana himself. Narayana is God's name, the final gati, the final resort of man is called Narayana. And Thakur is equating, the boy's name also is Narayana. Narayan is the short name. So, many a time at the temple garden at Dakshineshwar, the master wept silently for Narayan. He looked on him as the manifestation of Narayana himself. We understand Narayan died very young. Girish at the site of Narayan. There, who told him about this? Now we realize that M is at the root of all the mischief, all love. That means M must have told him. Master smiling, stop, hold your tongue. there is already an evil rumor about him. So don't add that. The conversation was next turned to Narendra. A devotee, why doesn't he come to you as frequently nowadays? Master, quoting a proverb, man's worries over bread and butter are simply amazing. They make even Kalidasa lose his wits. An intelligent man otherwise, in the proper Kalidasa's name is taken. Balaram. Narendra frequently visits his friend Ananda Guha of the family of Shiva Guha. Master, yes, I have heard that too. Narendra and his friends meet at the house of a government officer and conduct meetings of the Brahmo Samaj there. So for that they gather, not for unnecessary. Master, a devotee, the officer's name is Tarapada. Balram smiling. The Brahmins say that Ananda Guha is a very egotistic man. Because Narendra's friend is Ananda Guha and he used to go there more often. Master, never listen to what the Brahmins say. You know their nature very well. If a man doesn't give them money, they will call him bad. On the other hand, if a man is generous to them, they will call him good. Allah. I know Ananda, he is a good man. So Thakur has not validated what the Brahmins say. He has seen him firsthand. He says he's a good boy. The drawing room was full of devotees. The master wanted to hear some songs. At his request, Tarapada sang about Krishna. When on Tarapada, O Keshav, bestow thy grace upon thy luckless servant here. O Keshav, who dost delight to roam Vrindavan's glades and greens. That song is Keshava Kuru Karuna Dine Kunja Kananachari Madhava Manamohana Mohana Muralidhari Haribol, Haribol, Haribol Manamar Vraja Kishore Kaliyahara Katara Bhayabanjana Nayana Baka Baka Shikipaka Radhika Hridiranjana Govardhana Dharana Vana Kusuma Bhushana Damodara Kansa Darpahari Shama Rasavihari Haribol Ittadi. Now, this is the very beautiful song. Okay, we read that. O Madhava, our minds bewitcher, sweet one, who does steal our hearts, sweetly playing on the flute. Chant, O mind, the name of Hari, Sing aloud the name of Hari. Praise Lord Hari's name. O thou eternal youth of Praja, tamer of fierce Kaliya, slayer of the afflicted sphere. Slayer of the afflicted sphere. Beloved with the arching eyes and crest with arching peacock feather, charmer of Sri Radha's heart, Govardhan's mighty lifter. We have seen the stories. Thou all garlanded with sylvan flowers, O Damodara, Kamsa's scourge, Kamala's scourge, Kamala's scourge, that is Lakshmi. O dark one, who dost sport in bliss with sweet Vrindavan, Vrindavan's gopis maids. Chant to mind the name of Hari, sing aloud the name of Hari, praise Lord Hari midway. Praise Lord Hari's name. So this was the song, Master to Girish. It is a beautiful song. Did you write it? A devotee. Yes, sir. He wrote all the songs for his play. The Chaitanya Leela. We know in modern time that songwriters is somebody different. But here in this case, Girish himself has written all the songs. Master, this one has really hit the mark. That means he might have written all the songs, but this is a perfect one. As at Sri Ramakrishna's request, Tarapada sang two more songs. In the first, Nitai exhorts people to share Radha's love for Sri Krishna. Nitai is Swami Nityananda, and so he is telling like that. Come one and all, take Radha's love. The high tide of her love flows by. It will not last but for very long. Oh, come then, come ye, one and all. In countless streams, it flows from her as much as you desire. As much as you desire is yours. Okay. Made all of love, she pours out love unstintedly for everyone. Her love intoxicates the heart with heavenly bliss and drills the soul. Oh, come and sing Lord Hari's name. Drawn by her love, oh, come you all. Okay. Next he sang about Gauranga. Who art thou, Gaur of the golden hue, that quenchest the thirst of my soul? Thou raisest a storm in the sea of love, and scarcely can I steady my boat. Once as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, thou didst bend the covers In dry hands thou beholded the flute, that so beholded the gopi maids. Lifting Govardhana's mount in thine arms, thou shieldedst Vrindavan from ill. And at the wounded gopi's feet, humblest thyself in repentant love. The devotee pressed M to sing, but M was shy and asked them in a whisper to excuse him. Girish to the master, Sir, we can't find a way to persuade M to sing. And this point was not liked by Thakur also. Master, annoyed. Yes, he can bare his teeth at school to teach. But shyness overpowers him when he is asked to sing God's name. M, feeling greatly distressed, remained speechless. So that also M has written. Suresh Mitra, a beloved household disciple of the master, was seated at a distance. The master cast an affectionate glance at him and said to him, pointing to Girish, you talk of having lived a wild life, but there is one you could not surpass. It's a matter of drinking and behavior like that. Suresh with a smile. Yes, sir. He is my elder brother in that respect. All laughed because both were drunkards. Girish to the master. Well, sir, I didn't have any education during my boyhood. But still people say, I'm a learned man. Master, Mahima Charan has studied many scriptures. A big man to him. Isn't that so? That is a ridicule, huh? M. Yes, sir. Girish. What? Book learning? I have seen through it all. It can't fool me anymore. So he has certain fixed ideas. He knows that. M. Master with a smile. Do you know my attitude? Books, scriptures, and things like that only point out the way to reach God. After finding the way, what more need is there of books and scriptures? Then comes the time for action. A man is a Thakur's patent example. A man received a letter from home informing him that certain presents were to be sent to his relatives. The names of the articles were given in the letter. As he was about to go shopping for them, he found that the letter was missing. He began anxiously to search for it, several others joining in the search. For a long time, they continued to search when at last the, the letter was discovered. His joy knew no bounds. With great eagerness, he opened the letter and read it. It said that he was to buy 5 shares of sweets, a piece of cloth, and a few other things. Then he did not need the letter anymore, for it had served its purpose. Putting it aside, he went out to buy the things. How long is such a letter necessary? As long as the its contents are not known. How long is such a letter necessary? As long as its contents are not known. When the contents are known, one proceeds to carry out the directions. Okay. In the scriptures, you will find the way to realize God. But after getting all the information about the path, you must begin to work. Only then can you attain your goal. So he has proved the need of sadhana. What will it avail a man to have mere scholarship? A pandit may have studied many scriptures. He may recite many sacred texts, but if he is still attached to the world and if inwardly he loves woman and gold, then he has not assimilated the contents of the scriptures. For such a man, the study of scriptures is futile. The almanac forecasts the rainfall for the year. You may squeeze the book, but you won't get a drop of water, not even a single drop. Laughter. So, that is compared to the Pandits who only talk. Mm-hmm. Okay, we go back to read it. Nah? So we read about the almanac. Mm. Yeah. As you are, we read that paragraph. A man received a letter from home informing him that certain presents were to be sent to his relatives. The names of the articles were given in the letter. As he was about to go shopping for them, he found that the letter was missing. He began anxiously to search for it, several others joining in the search. For a long time, they continued to search. When at last the letter was discovered, his joy knew no bounds. With great eagerness, he opened the letter and read it. It said that he was to buy 5 seers of sweets, a piece of cloth, and a few other things. Then he did not need the letter anymore, for it had served its purpose. Putting it aside, he went out to buy the things. How long is such a letter necessary? As long as the contents are not known. When the contents are known, one proceeds to carry out the directions. In the scriptures, you will find the way to realize God. But after getting all the information about the path, you must begin to work. Only then can you attain your goal. What will it avail? I will not put this inside. I will see that. That was my mistake. Huh? What will it avail a man to have mere scholarship? A Pandit may have studied many scriptures. He may recite many sacred texts. But if he is still attached to the world and if inwardly he loves woman and gold, then he has not assimilated the contents of the scriptures. For such a man, the study of scriptures is futile. Hear that almanac. The almanac forecasts the rainfall for the year. You may squeeze the book, but you won't get a drop of water. Not even a single drop. Laughter. Girish has like that, huh? Girish smiling. What did you say, sir, about squeezing the almanac? Won't a single drop of water come out of it? All laugh. Master, with a smile. The Pandits talk big, but where is their mind fixed? On woman and gold, on creature comforts and money. The vulture soars very high in the sky, but its eyes are fixed on the charnel pit. It is continuously looking for charnel pits, carcasses, and dead bodies. To Girish, Narendra is a boy of a very high order. He excels in everything, vocal and instrumental music and studies. Again, he has control over his sense organs. Is something very important. I remember um, एदिके जितेंद्रिय एदिके जितेंद्रिय विवेक वैराग्याचे सत्यवादी अनेक गुण. So, what happens when man has so many talents? He goes astray. But he has talents, and yet he, he has conquered his senses. So that is the more praise. He is truthful and has discrimination and dispassion. So many virtues in one person to him. What do you say? Isn't he unusually good? Yes, sir, he is. That means he has imprinted in him's mind. Master, aside to him, he, meaning Girish, has great earnestness and faith. Aside, not in front of Girish. M looked at Girish and marveled at his tremendous faith. Girish had been coming to Sri Ramakrishna only a short time and had already recognized his spiritual power. To him, he seemed a familiar friend and kinsman, related to him by the strong bond of spirituality. Girish was one of the gems in the necklace of the master's devotees. Narayan asked the master whether he would sing. Sri Ramakrishna sang of the Divine Mother. Cherish my precious Mother Shama tenderly within our mind. May you and I alone behold her, letting no one else intrude. O mind, in solitude enjoy her, keeping the passions all outside. Take but the tongue, that now and again it may cry out, O Mother, Mother. Suffer no breath of base desire to enter and approach us there, but bid true knowledge stand on guard, alert, and watchful even more. Better to read that poem in the Bengali. जतने हृदय रेखो आदरिणी श्यामा माँ के माँ के तुम्ही देखो আর আমি দেখি আর যেন কেউ নাই দেখে কামাদিরে দিয়ে ফাঁকি আয় মন বিরলে দেখি রসনারে সঙ্গে রাখি সে যেন মা বলে ডাকে মাঝে মাঝে কুরুচি কুমন্ত্রী যত নিকট হতে দিও না কো জ্ঞান নয়নকে প্রহরী রেখো সে যেন সাবধানে থাকে. Then he sang as if he were one of the afflicted souls of the world. Master is singing, O Mother, ever blissful as thou art, do not deprive thy worthless child of bliss. My mind knows nothing but thy lotus feet. The king of death scowls at me terribly. Tell him, Mother, what shall I say to him? Acha, fine. Go Anandamayi. Hoye, Ma আমায় নিরানন্দ করো না. ও মা, ও দুটি চরণ বিনে আমার মন অন্য কিছু আর জানে না. তপন তনে আমায় মন্দ কয়, কি বলিব তাই বলো না. ভবানী বলিয়ে ভবে যাব চলে, মনে ছিল এই বাসনা. আকুল পাথারে ডুবাবি আমারে, ও মা, স্বপ্নেও তা তো ভাবে না জানে না. অহরহ নিশি সেই দুর্গা নামে ভাসি, তবু দুঃখ রাশি গেল না. এবার যদি মরি ও হর সুন্দরী, তোর দুর্গা নাম আর কেউ নেবে না. That song has not been completed here, but we understood that. Again he sang about the bliss of the Divine Mother. Behold my mother playing with Shiva, lost in an ecstasy of joy, drunk with a draught of celestial wine, she reels and yet she does not fall. शिवसंगे सदा रंगे आनंदे मगना सुरापाने टोल टोल टोले किंतु पड़े नामा ढोल ढोल विपरीत रता तुरा पद भरे कापे धरा उभय पागले परा लज्जा भय और माने नमा. Okay. The devotees listened to these songs in deep silence. After a few moments, Sri Ramakrishna said, I have a slight cold, so I couldn't sing well. Gradually it became dark. The shadow of evening fell on Calcutta. For the moonlight, the noise of the busy metropolis was stilled. Gongs and conch shells proclaimed the evening worship in many Hindu homes. Devotees of God set aside their worldly duties and turn their minds to prayer and meditation. This joining of day and night, this mystic twilight, always created an ecstatic mood in the master. Okay, so we stop here. Tomorrow we continue. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalpa Ashaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.